Hey, good evening. This is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. Welcome to another Write It Out Wednesday. This is the third Wednesday of the month. So we come on here every first and third Wednesday so we can put you back at the top of your writing list. We know that if we don't take time, if we don't make the time, then it won't get done. And we know that working with so many different writers and authors over the years that if we don't schedule the time, like with anything else, if we don't schedule, it doesn't get done. And so today we have a great topic, and it's really just a continuation of what you should be doing in 2021. So tonight we're going to talk about 5 reasons why you need to publish this year. Okay, 5 reasons why you need to publish that this year. And so that's not a lot, but I think you're going to like these 5 reasons. But for those of you who don't know me, that I have been writing since I was a child. So just a few years. But I've been writing and participating in lots of things regarding writing. I did spoken word for a while. I wrote for a drama team I participated there for about 20 years. And I've written reports and just all kinds of things. I did resumes, still do resumes for people. But writing has just been a part of my life, all of my life. And so now that I'm working as a book coach, helping you get your stories out is just, my ultimate passion. I love to do it. It's so amazing to see a story come together and become a published book. And so working with so many different authors, it's just been amazing that we're at 21 authors since 2019. And it's amazing that we are getting it done, y'all. And so we've got probably about 12 in the works. Hey, Cindy, good to see you. And so we've got a number of people in the works now and helping them get to finished. And so that's who I am. And again, just to remind those just joining, we're talking tonight about 5 reasons why you need to publish this year. 5 reasons why you need to publish this year. Now, last week I sent out an email. Last week I sent out an email. So those of you who are on my email list that you got in, and we were talking about, where are you when it comes to meeting your goals for 2021, especially with getting your book published, and so the thing about it is to do anything we know requires perseverance and determination, and that you have to keep going until you reach the goal. So I just want to come here for just a few minutes and share with you my 5 reasons why you need to get published this year. Many people are getting close. I've got actually 2-3 people right now. We're at various stages of close, in editing, in layout, in editing, and we're almost at the finish line for them. And it's always an exciting process. But the thing is, if they hadn't stepped out to get their story told, it's like, where would they be? So for me, my number 1 reason is I publish because when I think about all the books that I read, okay, all the books I've read over my life, the books that have made such an impact on my life, I have books today that I go back in and read. They're highlighted. The pages are dog-eared, as they call it, folded down on the corners. They're marked up. I was like, yes, highlight, exclamation points. Yes, that's me. Do this, whatever instruction I need, because that book really spoke to me. And so the reason you need to publish is because your book is for someone else, okay? Your book is for someone else. Because the thing about it is, if your book is just for you, and I've shared this in my webinar, I've shared this in my class, then it's a journal. It's a diary. If you're the only person that gets to see that book, and that's fine. Some stories don't need to be told, okay? Some, just keep that to yourself. Some stuff, unless you have a book coach to help you kind of navigate that story, to help you see what are the parts that need to be pulled out for someone else to benefit from. But just putting everything out there, I don't recommend that. But there's a way to take portions of that story and get it out, okay? And so that's what I want to say. Like, you have to write your book because someone else needs it. Your book is not for you. It is for someone else, okay? So number 2, 5 reasons why you need to get published this year. Number 2, the word now. Now is always the time to do something you need to do, okay? Now is always the time to do something you need to do. You've been talking about writing your book for months, for weeks, for years, for decades. When I do my course, I always find out people, I think the highest number I had when I asked people how long has it been since they've been wanting to write a book, I think the highest, hey Brenda, good to see you. I think the highest number was 25 years that they've been saying they're going to write a book. So let's put an end to that and get going today, because moving forward in your writing, getting started now. Okay. It's like, when's the best time to start your diet? Now. When's the best time to start a workout plan? Now. When's the best time, unless there's some physical or other issues that's going to block you, now is always the best time to do anything. When's the best time to start writing your book? Now. It's like, and so when we don't put off till tomorrow, because that says we are saying that I own tomorrow, and none of us do. So get started now. Do what you need to do now. Take care of your business now. Love on your family now. Do what you need to do now, because tomorrow is not promised. So number 2, now is always the best time to get anything done. And our first reason, yes, now faith. And don't get me started, because I got now unto him. I got so many nouns. That's my favorite. I think I'm going to write a book actually called Noun. So check with me later, because I've been toying with that for a minute. So I think that now is the time for me to get started on that book. Okay. And then also, number 3, that book is not going to write itself. Okay. That book is not going to write itself. You've been talking about it, dreaming about it, doing all kinds of things, telling other people, I'm going to write a book. I got this book I want to write. Girl, you should write a book. It's not going to write itself. And for many of you, unless you're doing ghostwriting services, I'm not writing your book either. I'll help you edit your book, but you have to write the story that resonates for you. You have to write the story that that there's something in there that's going to help someone transform their life, learn a new strategy for how to do something, do some new things. I mean, the ins and outs of that story. And you don't know that sometimes we think, oh, it's not so good, and I'm not sure if anybody, it's like, you got through it. You overcame it. You made the most of it, and it's just like, and so someone else can benefit from that, and in self-publishing world, it's so much easier to get your story out. Before, there were so many hurdles because of how the industry was set up, that it blocked out so many people, who want to share their story, who want to tell the world what they have to offer. The history of our people, the history of so many people in this country, in other countries around the world, that's never been told. And it's like, and why? Because someone else didn't think it was worthwhile or worthy? It's like, no, you are definitely worthy. Your story is worthy. So the thing is, it's like, you got to write it, because that book is not going to write itself. It's not going to jump out. Now, once you start writing, though, what may happen is, you wake up in the middle of the night and your book starts talking to you. It starts telling you what you need to put in there. Like, oh, forgot that. Oh, you got to write this down. Or record it, as I tell my students to, record it. Those thoughts that come into your mind that, though you might be asleep or laying in the bed or doing something else, jot it down. Because, or record it, because it used to be that a long memory or a long pen is better than a short memory. And now it's a tape recorder on your phone, or whatever the devices you need is better than that short memory, because you go in the next room now and forget what you went in the room for. So let alone that brilliant idea from God that's supposed to be in your book, and you walk into the next room and forget it, right? So we're not going to do that. It's going to be like, boom, get a piece of paper. Keep paper in your car, keep paper by your bed, or record it, keep that portion on, and let people, let the people know that story, that part of it. Because sometimes it's those things that you aren't planning, but are in there that need to come out, and something could trigger it. You could be somewhere, you could be in traffic, you could hear a song come on the radio, and it could remind you of a relationship, and either how it ended or how it began. All kinds of things. Something might have, you had a child and this song was playing, or this person was in the bed next to you, or whatever it could have been. That there's so many stories that, if we just allow them to come up, that they will rise to the surface of what it is that you want to do. And again, they will always be good stories. So as always, and for those that's just joining, I'm Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. I work with writing and time challenged, busy people and busy professionals, helping them get their stories told and their books published. And if you would like to get your book published this year, I'll put a link down below so you can join me. We've got some wonderful women on in the live here today. We've got Cindy, we've got Brenda, who are fabulous students. They're getting their books done. They're getting their books done. They're moving forward. They're doing what I'm talking about tonight. They're answering why, the 5 reasons why you need to get your book published this year, and they're getting it done. So this is what's happening. So that was 3. So we have number 1, you know, that you need to get your story out because your story is for someone else. Number 2, now is always the time to get something done. And 3, that book is not going to write itself. Number 4, okay, obstacles and challenges are going to come into your life anyway. Okay, obstacles and challenge are going to happen anyway. So you might as well not let this, writing your book, publishing your book, be one of them. Okay, because there are parts of that can be controlled, you know. But other things, other situations with other people, those things you cannot control. And so, but also having an understanding so you're not always thrown. I mean, that there are things that are tragic and there's nothing you can do about it, or, you know, sad, or whatever the situation may be. But if you have, you know, kind of a settled thing about things are going to happen. Okay, like yesterday, and I'm recovering. I had my 2nd shot, the vaccine, and I was trying to figure out yesterday, why am I freezing? Like, why? I had the heat on. It was about 70 degrees here. I think I had the heat on at 76. I took a hot bath. I took tea. I could not warm up. And then I was like, oh, side effects. And then my head was hurting. Things gonna happen. It was like getting a shot, getting a vaccine is a good thing, you know, but other things happen as a result of you doing something good. So you writing your book is a good thing, but other things are going to happen as a result. I mean, it's taken me till probably now. It's like I got a slight headache, but I'm here because I'm pressing through. You know, I have to demonstrate for you guys how to keep going, how to keep pressing through, because I have to not disqualify myself by telling you to do things that I'm not doing. Okay, so we have to keep going and move forward, because obstacles and challenges will come. And that was number 4. And then here's a big one. Okay, this is the 5th point. I told you I only have 5 points tonight. I didn't want to be before you long, but I like to just jump in here and help you learn a few good things, or remind you of something that you might have had that you didn't remember. And so perfection is impossible in writing because we are imperfect beings. Okay, there's this thing like sometimes we get stuck, you know, writer's block in quotes, because we keep going over that sentence over and over and over and over and over again. And it's just like, you know what? How about you start the next paragraph? Let an editor look at it. It's like you get your story out, because if you try to perfect that one line, you might not get to the 1 page. Okay, so get it out of you, you know. You can edit a little bit as you go if you don't understand what you're writing, but you don't, you know, if you're getting the story out, if you did your outline, you know, that we go over, that tells you how this story is going to come out, then by doing that, then you know the direction of your book. So if this chapter, you're kind of drawing blanks there, go to the next one. That might be the one, you know, you don't necessarily have to write a book in order, chapter 1. Chapter 2. You can start chapter 6. You know, if that's the one you got a lot going on right now, that's coming freely, coming up inside of you, write that chapter. You know, but trying to have this perfectionist mentality about, no, I got to do this. I got to do this. The thing you have to do is write. Get the book done. Write the book. Like, the perfection comes later, because all good writing requires editing. There's nothing anywhere that doesn't get edited, that goes out. you know? And we know it's not perfect because every day, like when I used to get the paper, that there's a retraction. There's always a box. Of magazines have them, you know, that there was an error in the last print. There was an error in the last publication. There was an error in the last, you know, paper that got delivered. Every single day, no matter how many times people look at something, you miss something, you know, and they have a whole team of editors, you know. So just think, you might just have 1 or 2 editors. They have like a staff. It might be 20 people who are editors on a newspaper or a magazine, just editing, you know, and they miss stuff. So, you know, give yourself a break. Don't beat yourself up. It's just like, because that's why there are second editions and third and fourth and fifth. How many times, you know, and they're not just because you added new information. It's because they found an error. You know, I remember putting out something, it was 1 word. I was like, 1 word, no, you know, but it was like, because the sentence was changed and the tense of that word wasn't changed with the sentence. And it's just like, what are you going to do? You know, only the people who look at stuff like me are going to be like, you know, there was a word misspelled, you know, so I have to be for myself what I am to others, you know, have that critical eye, knowing that there are other people with a critical eye too, you know, because sometimes if you're just reading and it's good for you and good to you, your brain is going to fill in what it should be anyway, you know, so it's like, don't beat yourself up. Like I said, we can always correct it and send it back out again. And particularly if there's a deadline, sometimes people are rushed to do stuff and they're like, oh my God, I want to get it done. Better to get the editing done, get the layout right, than to get some janky product out there and people like, that's your first book. We don't want to do that. We want people like, wow, that's an amazing book. You know, we want them to see your cover. It's like, girl, you killed that. You know, that's what we want. We don't want people to have an excuse or reason not to buy your book. Okay, so we've been talking about the 5 reasons why you need to get published this year. And so just going back over them real quick again, it's number 1, because your story needs to be told. You know, as I shared, that there's so many books that just changed my life. You know, I think about some of the authors I read, say as a child and as a teenager. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I still have my book from the 4th grade. I still have my book. I think I showed it to you guys before. Judy Blume. Oh my God. I read all those books, you know, and it's just like, and then you get older and then, you know, school takes you into different directions. You start reading things because you have to, but then you read things because they're fun, or you read things because you're like, oh my God. You know, so books have really had an impact on my life. And so helping people to write their books is such a joy and such an honor, because books enrich our lives. Okay. Books have been printed for ages. Okay. You know, the Bible is still the best-selling book of all time. And there's a gazillion books out here every day. So don't ever think that, well, there's too many books. You know, that's like saying there's too many shoes. So for all the shoes-anistas, is it ever too many shoes? You know, for people, I was like, I remember driving past Ulta. I was like, there's a grocery size store for makeup? Like, people are wearing that much makeup? You know, it's like these young people today, it's like the video tutorials on, and they need all that. It's like, to them, they love that. So it's just like, and the market has, you know, answered by having a whole department store, grocery store size store just full of makeup. Okay. You know, I'm glad to see the diversity in all the colors, you know, but it's still like, it's people are wearing makeup like that. So that was number 1. Now, we talked about that, but now is always the best time to do anything. Now. Okay. Now. When should you do that? Now. When do I start my diet? Now. When do I eat healthier? Now. When do I take a vacation? Now. Okay, I'm just saying that for myself, all right? That might, yeah, I'm working on it. Trying to get somewhere. It's like I'm reading all the reviews. It's like, oh man, what? This was just last week. So I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, number 3, because the book is not going to write itself. Okay, the book is not going to write itself. You have to write your book. You got to put the time in. It's like I was in grad school and my parents were living with me at the time. I just moved them here from Jersey, and it was just like I had the daytime job. I come home and you know, it was online. You know, we had in person cohorts for a 20-hour weekend. So all day Friday, all day Saturday, and a half a day Sunday. So 20 hours, and then everything else was online. And I remember my mom was like, number one, aren't you done with school? It's like, no, I'm a forever learner. But number two, she was like, she just saw how I did one thing to the next. It's like I was committed in 2 years, graduated top of my class, got a couple awards and certifications and stuff. So it was worth it to me because I did what I put out to do. It's like, and then, when I went to my graduation, the school was in Pennsylvania, so I was glad for the online offer, but it was like I had to complete that. It was like I set out to do it. And it got hard after a while because we had to do a capstone. So for those, it's like a group project where you got to come together and put something, or you come up with an idea or a plan for something, and you have to go through all of that. So anyway, I mistakenly did a Freudian slip and called it a crapstone, and that became what we called it. Like we were on a group email chat, and everyone started calling it the crapstone. But it was like, because at that point we were like 3 months from graduation. This was our final project, and we were just done. Okay, but we got through it. We finished. I see you laughing because that's what it is. It's just like it takes everything out of you just to get to the finish line. And I can just imagine, like, for all the kids in school now, like, what is high school graduation and birthday parties, college graduation, just going to college, and like all of this is just like, how do you do that, in pandemic world, like all the rites of passage for getting this, like all the stuff, the pressure, because we don't know where these kids are going to be. It's like they're doing everything they can, and there has to be just grace, just for, we're into the second year, and it has to be grace for these situations because stuff, it's just happening, and so, but they know they still got to do the assignments so they can graduate, and the people still applying for colleges, and there are plenty of kids going away to college. So it's still happening. It's still doing what it needs to do. So number 4 is obstacle, which goes right along with that. I was saying that obstacles and challenges are going to come into your life anyway. So you might as well not let publishing your book be one. Don't lump your book into, well, this is going on, I can't do this. It's like, well, how can we balance this? How can we break things up to say, okay, what can you do? Okay, because sometimes, we make it, the obstacle so big, when if we broke it down into pieces. I did a post the other day that said, everything is figure outable. I love that word. It's, another way of saying that is like, to every problem, there is a solution. It's like we just have to look for it, or we just have to ask for it. Because so many times we don't ask. We can ask for whatever we want, and we have to be able and open to receive it, because the answers will come. We just have to quiet ourselves sometimes. The words for the book, the things you need to say, what you need to do, you just have to ask. So many times we don't ask, and so we don't get the answer. So we need to learn how to tap in, because many of the answers are inside. That there's a voice inside of us that will speak to us if we listen. And so we have to learn to ask, like, I need help. Tell me what I need to do, in whatever way you need to say it, whether it's in desperation or whether it's like, I'm considering some things. However you need to ask the question, ask it, so that you can get the answer that you need to move forward. And then the final point is perfection is impossible because we are all imperfect beings, okay? We're never going to hit perfection. We can get your book as perfect as possible, but we can always redo it. We can always do a second edition, and of course we want to do everything we can to make sure that we get every comma, period, quotation, cover. Right now I'm in the process. We have pictures, and some of these pictures go back to the 1800s. So just getting the pictures right, because I have to, my layout person, like, they have to do a few things to the pictures so that it's clear. They want to take off some of the markings on some of the pictures because they're so old. And just the fact, can you imagine what kind of camera took that picture? Okay, that box kind with the fire, daguerreotype or some kind of word like that. I'll have to go back in my memory. But the thing about it is, it's like, even then, and most of the time they didn't smile, which was always amazing. You see some of these old pictures and they're just all, versus all the smiling, and I'm one that's always smiling in the pictures. So it's like to see these old pictures and they're just standing there like, but nonetheless, we got the picture. And so, my layout guy, I think we have 19 pages worth of pictures. So it's so many, so we got to get them right. We got to get them right. And it's just like, I had to let go of, can we get it done today? And he's like, no. Like, we can't? He's like, no. Because my tight line is like this, y'all. It's like this. And it's only because it just took a while to get some things, in the process. But it's like, we're going to make it. I'm saying it. We're going to make it. It's going to happen. We're going to get this thing done. Because Friday, the cover is absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to show you guys. And so we're going to get this done. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. I'm Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. I want to thank you for joining me here tonight. So please share this video with other people. Let other people know what we're doing. If you know someone that wants to write a book, please share my name, my page, whatever with them so that we can help some other stories get out there. Because it's my honor to help you guys tell your stories. There's so many great stories out here, and it's what I'm going to be doing from now on. That I've made some moves and this is where I am. So I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you guys soon. All right. See you online. All right. Have a great evening. Bye.